Your contracts, your deposits, your menu, your timelines, these protect you and your client. Do not budge on these things, okay? Unless you're willing to do a little bit more like clerical work with your deposits, for instance. Welcome to the Expansion Code Bridal Edition, the show for bridal hairstylists, makeup artists, beauty pros, and yes, even brides who want the behind the veil scoop. I'm your host, Heather Dick, bridal business coach, salon owner, and ringmaster of a 50-person squad that styles hundreds of weddings every year. Around here, we go beyond the hairspray. Think scaling your business, setting boundaries, surviving high-pressure moments, and creating client experiences that everyone raves about. So whether you're building your bridal empire or planning your big day, grab a coffee or champagne, and let's talk business, beauty, and a whole lot of bridal. Hello, good day, and welcome to our 3-part series of dealing with bridal clients. After all, you can't be a wedding hair and makeup artist or DJ or photographer without a couple. This series has been prompted by recent experiences that I have gone through in 2025. I have been doing this since 2007. I've been a wedding makeup artist, certified and licensed, and I have had a team since 2014. You can imagine I've seen it all. I've seen pandemics. I've seen crazy trends that are completely executable that you can't execute on a bride. I've seen social media, AI, the anxious client. I've seen it all. And this year has really been quite challenging. To be honest, even a little bit more challenging than COVID. And here's why. People are changing so much. Social media is changing our perspective of what's achievable. This instant gratification world that we live in is also changing how people deal with one another. And everyday individuals on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook are becoming the experts. So now the expert, me, can't be trusted. So, how do we navigate this? I'm going to start this 3-part series back to the basics. I'm going to start with how do you deal with them? How do you get them? The consultation and everything. And then we're going to work our way up to changes. So, what I want to talk about in the start of this episode is building trust, clear communication, and healthy boundaries. I have certainly been guilty of not keeping my boundaries. I have been very desperate for business. I've been in the place where someone has said, "Oh, that's too expensive for me." And then I go back and say, "Well, what can you afford?" Girl, stop doing that. Girl, guy, all of you. What we want to do with our clients from the very beginning, from the inquiry stage, whether you do your inquiries through Instagram, whether you do them through TikTok, email, text message, if it's email, which is what I prefer, because every time I open my emails, I'm on a computer, I'm in work mode, and I can't forget. I like to have a script out that I send to clients. I've fine tooth combed this. I've tweaked it as things have changed. I change years. I change obviously things. But email I find to be the most professional ways of communicating with brides and booking brides. Also, we're so distracted nowadays, all of us, that when you open your text message and you're sitting at a family dinner and Susie is like, "Hey, can you do my wedding on October 25th?" And you're like, "Yeah, no problem. I'll send you a quote." And then you put your phone down and you go back to eating your roast and mashed potatoes and gravy and you forgot. You just lost that client. So email is best. Now, you also want to make sure that you're in the good headspace for when you're working, especially if you're dealing with a high number of volumes. So I will never forget this as long as I live. This client, if you're listening to this, I actually thank you for saying this to me. In the height of Blush's growth, when we exploded and I could not keep up. I was working at my parents' business full time still. I was waking up at 4:30 a.m. to do everything. It was a lot. I was run off my feet. And it showed in my emails. I was flustered. I was typing too fast. I'd make errors. And one bride said to me, "Oh, this like kind of hurts me to even admit this. Heather, slow down. I'm just asking if I can add 2 more makeup applications." Oh my God. I was mortified. I have so much pride in how I deal with clients that when I realized that how I was typing and my hectic, chaotic life was coming through in my emails to my clients, I had to make a change. So remember, when you're talking to your clients through email or DMs or whatever you prefer, use proper punctuation, use proper grammar, capitalize your words. Start with, "Hey, Andrea, thank you so much for your inquiry. I would love to get you booked." Create these scripts for you. Actually, I'm going to make a note to do a little freebie of scripts. Create these scripts so you can just copy and paste. You have them in your notes and then you use them. It's consistent, it's professional, and clients get a feel for you right off the hop. Don't rush through things, okay? It's just bad news. And I get it. Trust me, I get it. I answer probably 150 emails a day still to this day. There's certainly times where I'm like, "Oh, wow, I'm so sorry. I didn't even see that you wanted hair." So I'm still guilty of this. I'm still working through it, but slow down, take your time, block off your time. First impressions are everything, whether that's on a computer or in person. Now we're going to get to the consultation in person. Let's say your whole process, you've sent a quote, your client has approved it, she's paid the deposit, she's signed your contract because you have a contract, right? And she's coming in for her trial, or you're going to her, whatever, it doesn't matter. You don't necessarily have to have a studio for this situation. Always be early. Okay. I'm so bad at time management, you guys. I'm so bad at it. I am perpetually optimistic. I'm like, oh, this only takes me 3 minutes. It actually takes me 7. And now I'm running 4 minutes behind, but I've also done 3 tasks like that. So I'm running 12 minutes behind. I've gotten much, much better as I've gotten older. And I've really realized to just stop what I'm doing and don't pick up the cat food on the way. I literally did that yesterday. And I was 10 minutes early. Always be early. This sets the tone. You're not rushing in. You're not like a bull in a china shop with like your huge, massive kit. And it's chaotic, you guys. It's chaotic. I've seen it. I have girls on my team that still do this. They cannot be early. And it is hard to watch, especially when you're standing from the outside looking in and you can see this client like, oh my God, is she going to be like this on the wedding day? I've actually even heard clients say that to their makeup artist. Don't be that person. Show up early, limit your caffeine intake, make sure you take your medication if you have medication, have everything set up before your client arrives. If you're going to their house, allot 15 minutes for that. You might need to move some furniture around, you might need to find some good lighting, power outlets, all that kind of stuff. Don't be your worst enemy, okay? Because there's lots of people out there, there's lots of things out there that are going to try to bog you down. Construction, accidents, you lost your keys, whatever. Be on top of this. Treat this like a job. Treat this like your career. Do I sound like Tony Robbins? I should look into motivational speaking. When you arrive, now you're going to do the consultation. You've set up, you've got your chairs, you've got your outlets, you're settled in. Always ask your clients, do you need any water or anything like that? Can I take your jacket? Where can we put your purse? Make them comfortable. One of the best experiences always starts like that, right? High-end luxury. Now, your consultation, you guys, this is like the bread and butter, okay? I've done so much training on consultations and it's changed drastically over the past 18 years. Because what I used to do was this. I'm going to turn around. If you're not watching on YouTube, I'm turning around right now. Hey, okay, so what are you thinking for your makeup today? What? No. Stop. Stop right there. Or this. Oh my God, hi. Okay, so your hair. What kind of hairstyle? Dude, there's so many more questions that you should be asking before you even get to the look that they're thinking of. I'm going to list it, okay? My consultation process is, I'm going to shorten it just for the sake of the podcast. I have a video out on Instagram. Maybe we could link that in the show notes. It's a full consultation that I do with my client. She's a makeup client. So I start off, okay, my name's Heather. Your name's Christina. Nice to meet you. I'm going to ask you a few questions about your skin, your preferences, what you wear on a daily basis, and then we'll get to what you are thinking of having for your wedding day. So let's start with what you like to wear for makeup on a regular basis. The client is going to tell you. They are going to use words like, I don't wear a lot of makeup, but I wear foundation, blush, eyeliner, mascara, eyeshadow, brows, and contour on a regular basis. So then, because to me, not a lot of makeup is tint and moisturizer and a mascara and a lip gloss. So then I will specify, okay, what does not a lot of makeup mean to you? Oh, it just means like, like I don't do like a full beat. Like, what do you mean a full beat? Like I don't do like a cut crease, but like I always wear eyeliner, I always wear eyeshadow. And so you're diving deep. You're getting into that nitty-gritty. Okay, so what do you mean by this? Ask that question all the time. So now we've determined that the client likes to wear makeup and she's comfortable with it, but she doesn't like full glam dramatic. Okay, great. What kind of products do you use? I'm not looking for brands here. I'm looking for cream or powder. I'm looking for how how knowledgeable is my client here? Where do I need to meet her? With a hairstylist, it's going to be the same thing. So what do you do? How do you wear your hair on a regular basis? Oh, I just wear it up. Okay, do you use like a ponytail? Do you slick it back? No, just like a messy bun. Now you know that she's comfortable wearing her hair up on a regular basis. So when she asks for down glam waves, she might be taken back a little bit. Next, we're going to discuss, okay, so you like to wear not a lot of makeup, quote unquote, but to me that's a lot of makeup and I'll say that. I would say, okay, actually that's more makeup than I would say is not a lot. When you wear makeup, do you like the makeup to be shown or do you like it to be a little bit more subdued? Okay, I like it to be subdued. Great, no problem. Can you show me a few pictures of you with your makeup done? And this is the trick, you guys. This is where this again, bread and butter. This is where you're going to get to know your client. They're going to show you a picture of the last time they went out on a date night or when they went to a wedding or a concert or something where they have done their own makeup. And so now you see what they look like when they're comfortable because this girl has walked in with no makeup on and her hair in a messy bun. Okay. Now you have to try to determine what she likes using words. And if you are only saying, okay, so what do you think for your makeup today? Girl, you have nothing, okay? So now I see the photos. Okay, so she likes her liner a little bit more crisp. She doesn't like anything on the bottom lashes. I'll determine that as we go. If it's hair, it's like there's nothing in the face. It's like, oh, there's actually lots of face framing pieces, and so on and so on. Then we'll get to what she actually wants to wear for her wedding day. You ask for your inspiration photos, most likely show 3 to 5 that all look very different. And so at that point, you say, "Okay, what do you like about this hairstyle?" "Oh, I really like that it's up and it's messy and I can see it." "Okay, great." "What do you like about this makeup look?" "I just really like her skin here, but I don't like the eyes." "Okay." Now you're deducing. Let's be honest, you guys. Almost Probably 99% of the photos that are out there on Pinterest, on Instagram, whatever, they are filtered. I don't care what you say, they're filtered, they are AI, they have some sort of editing on it. This is where it is very important to have something in your toolkit, in your phone, of photos of looks that you have done that you can show them. Okay, great. I actually just did a look like this on a bride. I'm going to show you it. So, this is what this looks like on an everyday person, not a robot. Oh, wow, that looks a lot different. It's a lot lighter. Yeah, it is a lot lighter. What do you think of that? You're just having a conversation. You're getting to know your client. Take that time. Once you've determined exactly what they want, you've talked about colors, you've talked about tones, you've talked about depth, then you start getting into what do you feel like your skin is? Do you feel like your skin is more oily, dry? You can, if you're a professional, you should be able to tell if she's a little bit oily or whatnot. What do you use on your skin on a regular basis? Do you ever get any treatments done? Have you ever had laser, microdermabrasion, dermaplaning, that kind of stuff? And then what do you have on your skin right now? Go through the list. Do you have any allergies? The amount of times that I hear makeup artists and hairstylists skip this question, shame on you. I will never forget. I was doing a photo shoot one time. I didn't ask this question. I start doing the client's makeup. It was for headshots. I am putting powder on her. I'm like setting her skin and putting a little bit of powder on her chest. And she starts breaking out in hives. And I was like, "Oh my God, are you okay?" And she's like, "Oh my God, I'm having an allergic reaction." I was like, "Oh gosh, do you have allergies?" "Yeah, I'm allergic to horsehair." "Oh, Jesus." Well, these brushes are natural horsehair. So shame on me. Again, I've learned from experience. Quick pause because I have to brag on my first business baby, Blush Artistry. If you know me, you know that blush isn't just work, it is love. And we are talking hair, makeup, skin treatments, private personal training, the full beauty experience inside and out that makes you feel like the main character, whether it's your wedding day, a birthday, or just because you love taking care of yourself. My team, they are absolute pros. They've got the talent, the heart, and the hype to make you feel amazing. That's why Blush is the go-to beauty squad in Western Canada. Can I get an amen? So if you're ready for a little glow up moment, head to blush-artistry.ca or catch us on Instagram at blushartistrymua. All right, let's get back to the show. It's important when your client shows TikTok videos, Instagram videos, whatever, or photos that you maintain the authority in the situation. I don't mean like standing there with your shotgun and like, listen, you gotta do this look or like you can't, That's not what I mean. I mean, you need to tell them why this is going to look good on them or why it's not. Okay, I see that you really like smoky eye and a winged liner. Here are my thoughts on this. Your eye shape is a little bit downturned, which means that when we try to bring that winged eyeliner out, it might not look exactly like this photo. Here's what I suggest. Instead of doing that wing liner and attempting to get that swoop at the end, why don't we do a little bit of a lifted look with the shadow and then I can kind of brush it up that way. You can take a look, see if you like it. Do you see how much better that is than just like, oh, you can't do a wing liner? Or, okay, yeah, sure, let's try that. And then it ends up looking crappy. And then you have to redo it. There's an authority, a confidence, and experience behind every single thing that you're doing. Even if you've only been doing this for a year, I hope that you have at least touched 20 to 30 faces. So you should have some knowledge on what would look good. I could talk about consultations. I almost could do a whole episode on it, but here we go. Know your worth, okay? Know your experience. The next thing I want to talk about is expectation setting and boundaries. This kind of leads into that whole confidence, authority, state, that kind of thing. If I had a nickel for every time someone said, "Oh, you're too expensive," I'd be a rich woman, okay? And like I'd mentioned at the beginning of this episode, I was so desperate for business, I would break on that. I would say, okay, let's say we charged $80 at the time, $75. I remember charging $75. Now we're up to 210 for a bride. So $75 and they would say, "Oh my I sorry. I've also had this in emails, okay? No addressing, no like, "Hey, Heather," nothing, just like, OMG, that's so expensive. LOL. No thanks. Do you know what I respond back? Not with, "Hey, Bish, thanks so much for inquiring then. Have a nice day, you loser." No, I don't do that. What I say is like, "Hey, Andrea, no problem at all. If anything changes, you know where to find us. All the best in your planning." Or, "Hey, Andrea, no problem at all. Thank you so much for the feedback. We'll take that into consideration. All the best with your planning. If anything changes, you know where to find us." As you can imagine, as you can see, I've said this a lot of times because tons of people say we're too expensive, but we're also fully booked. Let that sit in. Your contracts and deposits, our contract has changed every single year that we've done business. We've added things, we've taken things out. You always have to be pivoting with your clients. I mean, COVID, unprecedented, right? Like that was no one would have ever thought that that would come up. There was things I was doing, I was saying, I was going against my contract. I mean, it was a wild time. Give yourself some grace for that time. But what I did do, which I shouldn't have done, is I left clauses in my contract after COVID. So when people were constantly canceling their wedding, I would let them keep their deposit with Blush and just move it to a new date. And if they couldn't do that, I'd let them use their deposit towards services that we offer. Well, because I can't break my own contract, I have brides from 2022 still using that deposit on like laser hair removal every 3 months, facials. Duh. I should have taken that out. Lesson learned, right? You learn from these situations, you move on and you say, "Wow, that was stupid." And then you just change it and you continue. Don't get caught up in the mistakes that you've made because if you do that, you're just going to completely bury your head in the sand and you never continue with business, okay? And you guys, I've made so many mistakes. So many mistakes. Every day I make a mistake, for sure. Your contracts, your deposits, your menu, your timelines, these protect you and your client. Do not budge on these things, okay? Unless you're willing to do a little bit more clerical work with your deposits, for instance. Let's say you have someone that really wants to book, and I've had this as well. Is there any way we could break up the deposit into 3? You know what, Sandra? No problem at all. I'm happy to do that for you. Normally, I wouldn't because, again, 300 weddings a year, it's a lot to keep track of, but I'm happy to do that. We'll do 35% now, we'll do 35% in 6 months, and then we'll do the remaining balance on the wedding day. Done, right? So there's things that you can be fluid with, okay? And also, when you're dealing with these clients and you're saying no, don't be a bitch. There's no need for that. Don't let your ego get in the way. Don't come up with all of this pride like, "No, I'm better than that." No, girl, you are not better than that. And that client is wanting to pay you for your services. So have a little take it down a notch there, my friend. Even if you're the most booked makeup artist in the city or the hairstylist or whatever, photographer, it doesn't matter. Don't act like it. No one likes that. I hope I'm not coming across like preachy. I just I see this all the time, you guys, in this industry, especially in the creative industry. There's so much pride behind our work, and I get it. We're pouring our heart out to someone. We are showing so much of ourselves when we are dealing with clients that it's hard not to take it personal. But you guys, it's just business. It's just hairstyling. It's just makeup. You know, you can wipe it off. You can take those bobby pins out. You can delete that photo, heaven forbid. So just be easy. Just put a smile on your face. Recognize that when someone says you're too expensive, it's not a slight on you. They just don't see your value, and that's okay. Or they don't have that much money in their pocket. It's easy as that. I think that, sticking to your policies, creating your policies for your business and not just copy and pasting someone else's contract is very, very important. You can get bit in the butt. You can also save your butt. So, really do some soul searching when it comes to creating your contracts, what you want from your clients, what your clients should expect from you, and nail that down. Send it with every single quote that you are sending out. So, if someone inquiries, let's say Sandra's inquired for October 11th, and she sent it through DM, and you say, "Yeah, no problem. I'm going to send that through in an email. How many people? Where do you want us?" Da, 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 da. You send off an email, just an email that says, "Okay, it's going to be $800 all in." That client's going to come back to you and say, "Okay, is travel included in that?" "Oh yeah, travel's $35. So like the services are actually 765. Is GST included in that?" And then you're going to start to get all these questions. Break your quote down. So you have $400 in hair services, $400 in makeup services. That math is mathin', but you know what I mean? Break it down into services. You don't necessarily do it by line item, but just do it so the client can see. And with that quote, send your contract. So it's all out there for them. They can read everything, what's expected, if they're allowed to cancel, what happens to their deposit, trial expectations, all of that stuff. Do that right away. Transparency is key here. Have your prices on your website. Eliminate those price shoppers that are just, if you don't have your price on your website, man, I don't know what you're doing because you're just wasting your own time. You're not going to hook them with an email. Trust me on that, because brides are sending out, I suspect that what they're doing is like, okay, in the month of July, I'm going to book my hair and makeup team and my caterers. I'm going to send out 1,000,000 emails and inquiries. And sometimes it's who's fastest. Sometimes it's, well, I know I already want blush, but like maybe I'll just ask like these other few people and see what they say. So competition can be fierce depending on where you are. Um, Make sure you have your verbiage correct. Spell your words right. Use proper grammar, all that stuff. That it really matters. I think that especially in our industry of hair and makeup, we kind of look like dummies sometimes. Lots of times I hear that, no one gets back to them. They've sent out 9 inquiries, not one person has responded. That's embarrassing. And you know what's even funny? I have sent out emails to people to be guests on this podcast. Guess how many people I heard back from out of 5? 1. And she booked. She's excellent. Can't wait to have her as a guest. She's going to be incredible. That's embarrassing. Not for me. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me, but you just lost out on a bunch of opportunities here. So do your due diligence. Pretend like you do this for a living. Again, that script, I'm going to create that for you. We'll do it as a freebie. I'll make sure that that's done before this episode launches because it's just super helpful. Once you've got that client and your contract's in, you've done the consultation, all that stuff, and you're starting to like deal with this client more regularly, how do you spot those red flags? And what do you do about them when you see those red flags? It's tough. This is where having something in your contract is really helpful. I'm not sure what the wording would be, but we reserve the right to cancel a contract when there's breach in such and such and such, instances, because I have absolutely kept clients again because I was desperate and I didn't want to say no. And they turned out to be a nightmare. And I regretted it. I put my girls through hell. These girls are asking, I'll never forget this. We had one client, she was just a problem from the beginning. Booking her trials was impossible. At this point, we only had like 4 people on the team, 4 or 6 people on the team. And we were small. And she refused to have her trial at any other time of day other than 11 o'clock at night because she didn't want her fiance to see it. And I gave in. I should have never done that, you guys. I know everyone listening to this is like, oh my God, Heather, you have to remember this is like 2014. This is like 10 years ago. But like, come on. Who's in charge? Who's driving this buggy? I'll give you a hint. She didn't start off, or sorry, she started off like that. From the minute that I was dealing with her, I could tell she was very demanding. She didn't budge on anything. She wasn't flexible. At that moment, I should have said, you know what? I just don't think that we're the right team for you. And then you refer some other teams that you know are great. And I mean, if you don't like them, the client, maybe don't refer them out. But it's important to stick to your guns and protect your peace, because what happens is when you go against that intuition, a lot of times they turn out to be a nightmare client and they still end up writing you a bad review and they still end up asking for their money back. So just pay attention to their words, pay attention to their body language. You got to get really good at reading people, and don't get burnt by that, and don't give in, and be kind about it, of course. Like there's certainly a way that you can say like, Kelly, 11 o'clock on a Tuesday. Come on, sister. You can't expect us to work that. We got to find something else. That's how you do it. Not, hi, Kelly. As per my last conversation, you can bet your sorry ass that I'm not meeting you at 11 p.m. Okay, bye. Sometimes I wonder if I should do like narration for audiobooks. I'd only be good at the stupid voices. But, anyways, stand your ground. Difficult clients are always going to be there. You are always going to have difficult clients. But when you set that tone from the beginning and you have clear expectations, you have clear boundaries right off the hop, they're less and less and less. Even this year, I mean, 2025 was challenging for us. It was very challenging. We experienced, I'll talk about it in the next series, but it was hard. And even when we were going through those hard times, our clients were still so nice to us. And that's because we are also nice back. And so you attract what you are, and it's important to stay true to who you are. If you're a really like type A person and that's how you deal with people, you're going to attract really type A brides, and maybe that's your jam. Maybe that's what you want. Maybe you don't want those like type B people because they drive you nuts. This is your business. This is your career. It's important to stay true to it. You got this. In the next episode, we're going to talk about those challenges I've been talking about, because even with boundaries, even with all of the experience that I've had in the wedding industry, this was crazy. This was something that I never expected would happen. So stay tuned to the next series. We're going to talk about navigating challenges and expectations. And I hope you enjoyed this episode. We'll see you next time. Thank you so much for tuning into the Expansion Code Bridal Edition, your VIP access to a booked out, balanced, and thriving bridal business. If you loved today's episode, hit subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a fellow beauty pro. For more tips and behind the scenes magic, hang out with me on Instagram at IamHeatherDick or visit theexpansioncode.ca. Until next time, keep slaying those styles, leading with confidence, and remember, every detail counts, and so do you. Another little disclaimer: while I love sharing advice and business wisdom, I am not your lawyer, I'm not your accountant, and I'm not your fairy godmother. If you do want to be best friends, though, you can hit me up. Everything on this podcast is for educational and entertainment purposes only, so no lawsuits, okay?